Happy Friday, y'all. It's Lippy, and it's a good day. We have overcast, and we got rain last night. Kid you not, and it was a good rain. Didn't last long, well, as long as I wanted it to, but it lasted long enough to really drop this dry, sandy, oh, y'all, it's like a sand pit out there. But we got enough to water the garden and the yard. So yes, I am happy. So I hope you're getting ready for a great weekend. We're actually going to the farm about an hour away tomorrow morning and see if we can replenish some of our vegetables that we lost in the freezer. But today is a video, a promotional video that I did kindly accept. And before we get into not one, but two recipes, I want to insert a little intro to what I will be cooking in today. Now, the beginning of the recipe, you saw me boil some eggs. You also saw me peel a few eggs. So we have our 6 peeled eggs here. The yolk is perfectly cooked. So let's get into the intro and let's get back to the first of 2 recipes using this new cookware. And then we'll come back and I'll give my honest opinion. Y'all know that's just how I roll. Set out to create the cookware that could redefine our cooking experience. These skillets, as well as the saucepan, are BPA-free, lead-free, and they carry a high temp of cooking at 842 degrees Fahrenheit. In this photo, this set includes one 9.5-inch frying pan, one 11-inch frying pan, and one 7-inch saucepan with lid. Gas or electric, microwave safe, oven safe, and dishwasher safe. So, we are cooking with RedChef Cookware. And I gave a little bit of information, some tutorial about this cookware. And that is what impressed me. When this company reached out to me, I read everything about it, and I really liked what I was reading until the product come in. Like I said, we'll discuss that at the end of the video. But I was intrigued of the safety part of these pots. And they're actually 2 skillets and a saucepan, as they call it. But let's make some egg salad. And I will be serving this on a toasted whole grain bread. But this is enough for me to eat on for a couple of days. So we're going to keep it basic, put a little twist on it. Some of you may make it like this, some of you may not. But let's make some egg salad. Then we'll talk a little bit more about the cookware. And then we're going to move to the supper tonight. And it's a semi-homemade crawfish Alfredo. Semi-homemade. Yes. I'm not quite there yet, y'all. Plus, when you can cheat, why wouldn't you? Okay, I have my 6 boiled eggs here in this bowl, and I've creamed very well. I may have to add some more mayo. The first ingredient I have added to this bowl is a heaping tablespoon of the Philadelphia cream cheese. Now, this is the vegetable medley. It has cucumbers, carrots, green, yellow, red bell peppers. Y'all, I love this cream cheese. So you could use regular cream cheese or no cream cheese at all. But a tablespoon of this cream cheese takes your egg salad over the top. And I also added a heaping tablespoon of mayonnaise. I do use Blue Plate. You can use Duke's, whatever mayonnaise you like. This house likes Blue Plate and Duke's. And so that's all I've got in here. Now, before you see me add the egg yolks, I am going to season this. I'm going to add just a little bit of black pepper. I'm going to add just a little bit of my Cajun spice. This is my Cajun seasoning. Now remember, you have to season to taste. I will not be adding any salt. Now, celery salt. That's where I'm going to pull my salt from. I thought I had some more celery leaves, but they must be back in the pantry, so I'm only going to put a hint of my celery salt. Now, you could use green onions, which I do most times, but I'm trying to bring some freshness. So this is some freeze-dried dill. Not from my freeze dryer, but from a company out of Ohio. And guys, I mean, it's like fresh out of the garden. So that's all I am adding to my egg salad mixture. Now we're going to go in with the egg yolks. You're thinking, what about the whites? We're actually going to dice them because I'm all about contrast of texture. So we're going to have a little bit of creamy, and then of course our egg whites will be diced. So you're pulling a little bite. Now you can add some onions to this. I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm really monitoring what I'm eating right now. And like I said, I may have to add a little bit of mayonnaise. We're going to go with another tablespoon and see where we're at. Remember, we can always add more, but we can't take away. Y'all look. I was like, I know I have 2 quarts of dried celery. Now you can omit this, but guys, I'm a big celery eater. I'm not a cilantro eater, but a big celery eater. Now all I'm gonna do is rough chop these, okay? Now we're just gonna, now you could do this with your hands, but I think we need to just chop away. I don't really want them mushed. I still want some texture. And we're just gonna give this a good mix. Now I do like to chill mine, but I'm kind of hungry, so we're gonna toast 1 piece of bread and have us a little fold over. I have plenty for the weekend. And I have one, as we call it, a pocketbook. Meaning it's just 1 piece of bread. Some people fold it over. This is toasted whole grain. So I made me a little fold over. Oh, it's good. Okay, here goes. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Y'all, there's something about that cream cheese, that dill. If you want it bright, lemon pepper, oh my geez, I've done that too. Because I can just sprinkle it on the bread. This is out of this world. Miss Lippy's egg salad sandwich. Today's recipe. Next week, I'll turn it into a different flavor profile. That's the good thing about egg salad. You can make it any way you want. Break time is over. You've seen the saucepan with a lid. That's what I boil the eggs in. It's a very sturdy pot. It's a heavy pot. It cleaned up very nicely. There's no residue. And it's got a nice silicone lid. But this is what I noticed, guys. These 2 skillets have no handle and they have no lid. Now, They are oven safe, any stovetop safe, gas, electric, flat top. They're even microwave safe and dishwasher safe. All that's great. They're heavy, they're sturdy, but no lids and one handle. So let's move this smaller one, the 7.5, out of the way, because I'm going to actually use the larger one. I don't think it's going to hold everything, but we're going to see. So I'm assuming, watch, I took it off this little saucepan. It does come off easy. So you just snap it. And I guess you just lock it in place. Okay, now it's on there. But guys, yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting this. And to try to take it off with something, there's a button on here, with something hot in here, this makes no sense to me. Now you could use it just like this, but the set's $99. And they did offer 20% off, which would bring it down to $79 for the 3-piece set. We're gonna see how it does with the crawfish fettuccine. But if you was using just two, let's say the saucepan and the skillet, you're gonna have to click this on the saucepan, use it, unclick it, click it back on the frying pan. And I guess if it was to go in the oven, which I will be putting mine in the oven to melt some mozzarella and some Parmesan cheese, it's gonna be hot, so I guess I'm gonna have to, I don't know, we'll find out together. But I read everything about it. Actually, in the picture, it didn't show a handle or two lids. But I didn't pay attention to that. I was actually reading what it was made of and so forth. Yeah. They cheated me. Or, I don't know, but we're going to find out how it cooks. But guys, it kind of needs to be all together. It's got to have a lid and a handle per skillet. So right now, I don't need to tell y'all what my review is, but let's see how it cooks, okay? This may turn out to be a great baking skillet, something, I don't know. I'm sitting on about a high medium. This is 3 tablespoons of salted butter. You can use unsalted butter. And to this, I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. Okay, over here I've got a pot of boiling water, and I salted it very well, like the ocean. And I'm going to add a bag of penne pasta. You can use any pasta. Most people use noodle pasta, like the spaghetti, fettuccine, things like that. But we actually prefer a bite pasta, especially a penne. The cream sauce gets in through the center of it, and it's just the pasta that we prefer. So I'm just going to bring that up to a boil and let it boil according to package directions. I'm probably going to pull it about a minute sooner, so I may let it go 10 minutes, and I'm going to reserve some of this water. Put you a wooden spoon here, and it won't boil over. Okay, now we've got some good heat rendering, and I'm going to add a pound of Louisiana crawfish tails. I think these came from Ville Platte. I'm very, very funny about my crawfish, y'all. If it ain't from Louisiana, I don't buy it. Now I'm going to season it with a little bit of lemon pepper. Guys, lemon pepper, you don't have to go heavy-handed, but it just brings out all the flavors, especially when you're dealing with a white sauce. Now, my season of choice is my Cajun swamp mix. Oh yeah. Now because my seasonings, all of my Cajun blends, they're not on the high salt side. So I will be adding some salt. Now this is just Redmond salt. You can use any salt of your preference. Perfect. Now I will not be adding onions. No vegetables to this, except my parsley from my garden. Not just for flavor, but to garnish it. Now, while they are just starting to cook, this is when I like to add my garlic. And I'm adding a good tablespoon. And I'm also going to add Creole mustard. And you're thinking, oh, what did you do, lady? Yo, it's a Lippy thing. And I mean maybe a half of a teaspoon. But that Creole mustard, when you eat this, you're like, what am I tasting? What is that little flavor? And just that little bit takes it to a different level, guys. It really does. Hey, I'm going to crank my heat down to about a number 4. And I'm going to let them cook about 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to blow your mind. I've let these crawfish tails simmer for about 5 minutes. And I'm going to add a heaping tablespoon of regular cream cheese. Oh, yeah. Now, like I told you, we're going in semi-homemade. This is just a 4-cheese Alfredo. I got me a little bit of pasta water because you don't want to miss all this in here. Give it a good shake. You want to get all that goodie out of there. Look at there. I got all my money's worth. Now I'm going to come in with some half and half. I don't know about how much. A solid 1/4 cup. Okay. Now, and that's where we're going to stop at the moment. Because remember, we're going to have to add some pasta water once these noodles get in here. And I'm not so sure this skillet is going to hold all them noodles. And that's the color that I'm looking for. Let everything kind of just marry together. That cream cheese is going to break down. It's not enough that you taste the cream cheese. It just brings the semi-homemade Alfredo to a different level. And I have just found when I want to cheat and use some Alfredo sauce, by adding that, a little bit of half and half, and some different cheeses that we're going to introduce, it really, really makes it taste scratch. I'm going to add some black pepper. I will not be adding salt because the cheeses have salt. The canned Alfredo has some sodium, but I definitely want quite a bit of black pepper. Mr. Buddy's going to want a little bit of kick. So let's do some red pepper flakes. A little bit more. He likes it kind of on the warm side. And I'm just going to take my spider, because I'm really not sure, guys, if this skillet's going to hold it. I'm kind of doubting it. But I'm going to give an honest review. But I can tell you with the rest of the cheese that we got to add, I just don't know. Which I may not use the whole pound of pasta. And that's fine because it's al dente. I can cool it down. I can put it in the freezer and save it for another meal. I'm adding fresh parm, grated parm. And you never, ever have heat on when you're adding parm. It'll get very stringy on you. It's best to add it off the heat. And I'm going to stir it in. And it won't string on you. It'll just melt. Now we're going to add a little bit more. Can't have enough. A little bit of parsley. You know, we got to have our greens every day. Oh, yeah. Let's get it mashed down. Because this is going to go in the oven for about 10 minutes, guys. And we're going to layer mozzarella cheese. I think, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to do it whole because I've got enough. That way when we scoop, you can get some in every bite. Okay, let's see how this is going to work. The handle cannot go in the oven. So you see what I'm saying. All right, it's going in the oven. See if I can get the handle off. Guys, this is kind of ridiculous. Just saying. All right, we're going to give it 10 minutes to kind of melt down, and I'm going to get everything cleaned up. I'm trying to figure out how, oh, okay, it does open. So I can get in there and clean that. Bad design. And here it is. But you see, how am I going to cover it and keep it warm? And this is how I'm going to have to cover it and keep it warm. It's quality control time, guys. Look. I mean, the skillet cooked good, you know, but yeah, that's a no-go. In my opinion, they cook evenly, they cook great, no lids. You share one handle. That's very dangerous. And what if that didn't come off? What if it stuck, that one handle on that skillet? You need another pot holder to hold and secure, and I don't agree with the design. What I do agree with is the materials that they used, as I spoke about at the beginning of the video. But they left out some important pieces. Handles and other lids. Because y'all know that saucepan lid ain't going to fit in either one of these skillets. So you'll be spending money, or maybe, I didn't look, but I could have had a lid for it, but this is common sense. You're going to have to cover it, so I chose full. But I do want to sample Mr. Buddy's semi-homemade crawfish Alfredo. Look at all that cheese. Oh, man. And like I said, it's got enough salt with all that cheese. But it's a different salt. You know what I mean? And that little bit of Creole mustard, just that little bit, just, I mean, it takes it from semi-homemade to almost Parmigiano Reggiano type. Salty, cheesy. I don't know what it does, but if you leave it out, you'll notice it. If you try it with the Creole mustard and without. I knocked it out of the park, y'all. But I'm going to set it to the side. It's still warm, oven temp. And it's got a little bit of a heat. But I knew that this was really designated for Mr. Buddy. This is going to hit every note that he loves. So I did good on the recipe. But I make this all the time. Most times semi-homemade. Have you priced heavy whipping cream lately? Hello. So there's a way to take a little bit of help off of a shelf and bring it home. Bring it homemade. And guys, we got to look at budget. We got to look at cost. And we got to see about getting out of this kitchen sooner than later, because it's hot here in the South. But as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. In the next video stars Mr. Buddy. I told you we had 3 promos to test out, and he will star in 2 more. So, I love y'all. And Red Chef, you need to go back to the drawing board. you kind of miss some pieces. Bye, y'all.